What if I told you that every morning you are unknowingly plugging yourself back into a version of reality you no longer want? That your mind is stuck on a loop, playing the same thoughts, triggering the same feelings, producing the same life over and over again? And worse, you are not living in the present, you are reliving your past every single day. But there's a way out, and it starts with one powerful daily practice that can literally rewire your brain and recode your future. Let's break the loop. From the moment most people wake up, their mind doesn't greet the day, it reactivates the past. That argument from yesterday, the fear of tomorrow, the mistakes of last year, and with each thought comes the same chemical reaction: stress, guilty, anxiety, fear. Your brain doesn't just remember, it relives, and your body, it doesn't know the difference between memory and reality. This is why your past becomes your present and eventually shapes your future. Let's take a simple example. Imagine something happened yesterday that made you angry. You were cut off in traffic, or your boss disrespected you. You go to bed still fuming. You wake up, and before your feet hit the floor, you remember that moment. You think about it, replay it, and sure enough, you feel the anger again. You tighten up, your heart rate increases, your tone becomes sharp. The chemicals of yesterday become the biology of today. Now repeat that for 2 or 3 days, and people around you say, "Hey, you seem off." Repeat it for a week, and they say, "You are moody." Do it for months, and now you're known as the angry one. That's how thoughts become habits, habits become traits, and traits become identity. You are literally becoming your past, and yet you wonder why your life doesn't change. But what if you could change that? Not with motivation, not with wishful thinking, but by reaching the 95% of your mind that actually runs the show. Most people don't even notice this happening because they run on autopilot. Wake up, check your phone, read a few emails, scroll the news, respond to few messages, maybe something irritates you. And just like that, you're emotionally linked to everything familiar. Then you go through your habitual routine. You brush your teeth with the same hand, take a shower in the same way, drink coffee from the same mug, take the same route to work, see the same people, do the same job, and return home to watch the same shows. You're living yesterday today, not metaphorically, literally. And that routine becomes a program, a subconscious program that runs without your permission. By the time most people are 35, 95% of who they are, their thoughts, emotional responses, behaviors, beliefs, and attitudes are memorized, hardwired, automatic. The conscious mind, the part of you that wants to change, that dreams of something better, that part only controls 5%. You say, "I want to be happy. I want to be wealthy. I want to be calm and confident." But you're trying to use 5% of your willpower to override 95% of deeply ingrained program. It's like trying to stop a freight train with a paper straw. And this is where the war begins, between who you want to be and who you have been programmed to be. So how do you break the cycle? You have to go beyond the analytical mind, the thinking minds, the gatekeeper, because that's the barrier between your conscious intentions and your subconscious programming. The way to cross this barrier is through mediation. Mediation isn't about becoming spiritual or religious. It's about creating the space to witness your mind and rewire your body. It's a return to awareness. When you meditate spatially deeply, you begin to slow down your brain waves. You move from beta, your daily alert state, into alpha, relaxation and imagination, and sometimes even theta, the realm of subconscious change. This is the exact state your brain was in when you were a child, the state where the subconscious was wide open, absorbing everything. That's why children learn so rapidly. They don't just hear, they become. Mediation takes you back to that programmable state, and this is where change becomes possible. Here's what's wild. Every time you remember a painful event, your brain and body produce the same chemistry as if the event were happening all over again. Your body doesn't know the difference between memory and reality. It just responds, which means you're not just thinking about the past, you are reliving it, you are hardwiring it. And then you say, I want to change, but the body resists. Why? Because the body has become the mind it used to take orders, now it gives them. It has memorized guilt, shame, anger, anxiety, and it prefers what is familiar, even if it's painful over the unknown. Try this. Sit in mediation for 10 minutes and just notice your nose starts itching. You remember something from 20 years ago. You feel the urge to check your phone. That's not coincidence. That's the body fighting to stay in control. It wants you to quit, to go back to the program, to remain predictable. Because stepping into the unknown is scary for the body, but it's the only place where change lives. The unknown is the doorway to creation, and mediation is the key. Once you enter that meditative state, really enter it, you can begin to ask powerful questions. What kind of future do I want to create? What kind of person do I want to become? And then you mentally rehearse it. You visualize, you imagine, and if you do this with focus and presence, the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and real experience. You start installing new software. You teach the brain what the future feels like. And here's the hard part. You must feel the future before it happens. It's not enough to think about it. You must feel it in your body because thoughts are the language of the mind, but emotions are the language of the body. If you think abundance but feel fear, you are not aligned. If you say, I am confident, but your body is tense and nervous, the message gets lost. When you feel the emotion of your desired future before it arrives, you are telling your body that it's real. You become energetically matched to your vision. And according to quantum physics, the moment you do that, you begin drawing the reality to you, like a magnet, like resonance. You don't need to wait to be successful to feel successful. You feel successful and you create success. You don't need to wait for love to feel loved. You feel love and love appears. That's how creation works. This is where victimhood ends. You stop saying, I am like this because of what happened, and you start saying, I am like this because I have chosen to become it. It's not always easy. The old self will fight. Those 60,000 thoughts a day, most of which are recycled, will come knocking. But just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true. And it certainly doesn't mean it deserves your attention. That's why mediation is not optional, it is essential. It's your daily reset, your sacred space to become familiar with the old patterns so you can interrupt them and to plan new ones. That's what mediation means, to become familiar with. You become familiar with the thoughts that no longer serve you, the behaviors that pull you backward, the emotional addictions you have mistaken for personality. And then, with clarity and will, you start choosing new ones. It's like starting a new garden. You don't just throw seeds, you clear the weeds. You till the soil, you remove the rocks, only then do you plant. Your body is like a wild horse at first. You tell it to sit and it runs. You bring it back, it runs again. But each time you bring it back and gain strength. You say, sit, breathe, stay. Eventually, it obeys. And in that surrender, you find freedom. Your body will say, hey, it's 8 a.m. We usually check emails and get triggered now. Why are you sitting? It will protest, it will resist. But the moment you will become stronger than the program, something profound happens. Energy is released. You move from particle to wave, from matter to energy. You disconnect from the familiar emotions that chained you to your past. And when you do this, even for a week, you begin to notice. You catch your thoughts faster. You recover quicker. You don't spiral as deeply. You don't snap at your partner like you used to. You feel lighter, clearer, more powerful. Not because the world changed, but because you did. If this resonates, doesn't just understand it, practice it. Start small, 10 minutes every day, and watch what happens. Because when you change your mind, you change your energy. And when you change your energy, your entire life begins to shift. Hit subscribe if you're ready to break the loop and reprogram your mind for the future you actually deserve. See you in the next one.